and a very warm welcome. I'm Abhishek Datta and you're watching Spotlight on Connected to India. It's often said that biopics are not really 100% true, but with Karenjit Kaur, I doubt how much of that saying is true. I've got Sunny Leone herself to clarify it to me whether Karenjit Kaur is actually the story of Sunny Leone.
Yeah, it's pretty much the story of how things happen. I told so many stories, and obviously all those stories didn't make it inside of both seasons, but all the stories that were told are stories that happened, things that happened, people that I met, or I mean, even some of the dialogue between myself and my parents.
Right.
Those dialogues are very real. So, yeah, you can name any part of the story, and I'll tell you the story of what happened.
So I really want to know, that how does this thing really work? Like, somebody comes to you, Z5 came to you, and they're like, okay, I want to know your story, and I'm going to make a biopic on you and make sure that I make it available on Z5 Global. How does this whole thing work?
Well, it all didn't happen that way. The production house and Daniel had spoken, and they all came to me and said that they want to make a biopic on my life. And my first instinct and answer is, no, I don't want to do that, because who wants to go down that path again?
Right.
Not me. And I just gotten out of an experience where a director had taken advantage and didn't tell the story the way it should. It was his vision and his view of what that story should be. So I didn't think that was fair. And then they said, we don't want to just show the adult industry, and that's what people would be curious about. We want to show where you were from and where you were born, and things that happen, and funny things that happen, and your childhood dynamic between your parents and being an immigrant first-generation family in Canada, and how you guys dealt with it, and so many different little things like that. So that was intriguing to me, because for me, if I was going to consider and go down this road, then it should be the truth. I don't know how to live my life any other way. So the stories that were told, they were all very real. The writer and I sat on my couch for probably about 6 months, back and forth, just telling stories. He'd sit with me for so many hours, and he'd leave for 2-3 weeks. He'd come back, he'd process everything that we had talked about, and then come back to me with more questions and come back again. So this went on for about 6 months of collecting stories and hearing stories and crying and laughing and being angry and upset, and so many different things.
And those deja vu moments happening.
Yeah, deja vu moments that are not so great to have deja vu, and telling certain lines and story, parts of the story. So that was difficult. And then shooting it was a whole nother process. So they had the story in hand, and Z5 is probably the only company that took the story as it was. That this is the story, yes, we'll take it. We want to make it exactly how you envisioned to make it, the production house and the writers. And there were a few other production houses that wanted to change the story and wanted it to be more seedy and more woe is me, and like
precisely in my introduction, that's the reason I mentioned how much of it is actually real.
Yeah, like I said, you can name one part of it and I will tell you the story of what happened. It's all pretty real. So a lot of companies wanted to change it, and I am lucky. I had a production house and my husband and the writers that were just dead on it staying the way that it was, and finding the right people and the right portal to release that information was important, because it couldn't be this battle while it was being shot or while it was being like a script was being finalized, that no, we want it to be more like this, and wanting to change things. So they didn't do that, which I think is the reason why it's people have liked it.
Right. Your answer also puts me into a question that you initially said that who wants to walk that path again? But then for your own biopic, you chose to act. How
Yeah.
easy or difficult was it for you to convince yourself to walk that path again?
To wake up in the morning and go back to that house was very difficult. It wasn't easy. For me, in my head, I'm like, okay, I made a decision. This is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. And there were many times because I was so upset, and I was upset or angry or sad or depressed and crying and all these different things. And Daniel's like, okay, we'll just give the money back. I'm like, well, that doesn't work like that in my head. I know he's just saying
You
it
did
just
get
to,
that thought.
no, he said it out loud many times.
Okay.
But I know he's just saying it just to say it. And he knows in my personality, I wouldn't say, okay, fine, yeah, that's fine. Let's just drop it and say, forget it all and give their money back to them and we won't shoot it. That doesn't work like that for me at all. So he did say that. And I said, no, I've already committed. I'm going down this path. And Daniel's biggest thing is that he's a fixer. He wants to fix what the problem is. He wants me to be happy, and he wants me to smile all the time and just be happy. He wants me to be a happy person. But the thing is some things you can't change, and some things, no matter how much you tell me to separate myself from the subject, it's not going to happen. It's my life. It's my, these are my parents, and this is my brother, and these are the situations that happen. Even though they're not really my parents, but they're playing those.
They play.
Right. It's a very real situation when you walk into a house and all of a sudden there's pictures of your actual parents on the walls and my brother on the walls and childhood pictures on the walls. It's very, very difficult. But I'd committed, and once you commit, you just don't go back.
Definitely a big salute to you for that. Obviously, from LA you had to come to India. Being, a person of an Indian origin, what was it like for you when you came to India after leaving the adult industry? What did you think of, meeting people, how they would probably react to a Sunny Leone, how they would look up to you? What was it like?
Well, I left the industry way before I'd come to India, and yeah, of course, I was totally scared and didn't know what was going to happen and didn't think anybody would accept me, and let alone be here for the last over 8 years now. I thought I'd be there. I thought I would be here for maybe 2-3 weeks max, and then I would just go home. And I'd go back and living in my bubble there and maybe put a down payment on a house, and that was it. That was my intention. There was nothing else. Not this, okay, I'm going to enter Bollywood and I'm going to do all these things. First of all, I didn't even think that I would be able to step foot onto a national television show that's being played and presented all over India.
Right.
That in itself was the goal. Just might get one foot in the door, even if it was one frame on TV. That to me was an accomplishment. So there was no thought process of what was going to happen after. So I was very scared. Daniel was scared. I was dropped in this house. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anyone. And then made it through several weeks of being there.
Right. So we're now in the season 3 of Karenjit Kaur, right? So
It's the second season, and this is just a season finale.
Right.
They cut the season in half, and they wanted you to wait, and now they're going to show you the rest.
Right. So in this season, what do we get to see? Do we get to see your views, your opinion about different things that you've come and seen in India? Maybe some.
No. So the season finale ends when I land here in India.
Okay.
So it's me saying yes to going on the Big Boss show. It's Daniel and I landing here in India, and then we're done.
Right. So there's no Sunny Leone, the mom, Sunny Leone, the entrepreneur. There's so much that's added on to you, right?
Yeah, I think
You've pretty much set an empire for yourself.
That feels nice. Yeah, it's really exciting how we've gone through this industry. So many things that we've learned, expanded, growing, and opening up different businesses here and doing things that I'm passionate about, what Daniel loves doing, and it's really amazing. I didn't think any of it would happen.
and then now you're like a mommy. You've got
Yeah,
3
you
kids.
met my daughter. She's
I did.
she's amazing. She's such a little angel, I swear. When I look at her, I didn't think, oh, I didn't give birth to her. She's just such an amazing little girl, and so beautiful and nice and sweet and
And so
funny
friendly.
and so friendly. I'm trying to raise a really polite, nice young lady who knows that she can't get a box of chocolate and eat it all to herself. So it was a very proud moment for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, none of that is in this season. It ends as soon as we land here.
Sure.
If people really like season 1 and season 2, maybe they'll shoot a 3rd season. I have no idea.
Right. What next? What after Karenjit Kaur?
So Daniel and I own a production house, and we'll shoot our first Bollywood film this year, which is very exciting for us. And then I have 2 South films and a TV show. So you get a full plate and 3 children. It's very exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, we're going to be making sure that this reaches out to people, a lot of people in Singapore, UK, US, Dubai, everywhere. So you have some kind of message, especially you coming down from, somewhere outside India. You want to give out some messages to the people who are watching you right now, who are not in India, but then they want to stay connected to India.
Well, you got to keep watching this channel. How's that? Stay connected there. I think that, if you want to be in India, or if you have some thoughts of what it would be like, it's usually the complete opposite. I have a home in Los Angeles, California. Never thought I would ever be living in India. And I think that this is one of the most amazing places to be right now. One of the greatest, fastest growing countries, industries, as far as business goes, ideas for young people. It's one of the most emerging markets, the best place to be if you want to do any sort of business. And just to be here, the culture, the people, everything. So you guys should come. Hello, make a trip.
Make a trip. Come
Go
to
India.
Thank you so much, Sunny, for talking to us.
Thank you.
And I'm definitely looking forward to this season of Karenjit Kaur.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.